yeah, we're finna start going here. Man, the first one I ever went to was the UFC 271 in Houston. That was in February where Israel fought Robert for the second time. And bruh, that whole Texas crowd was just crazy. It was just like, oh my goodness, man. Like,
yeah, it get nuts.
Especially when Derek Lewis got knocked out. Oh my goodness.
That shit hurt. I don't think they should be fighting then. It's like something about them when they fight in their own city that it never work out.
It never works out, bro. He gets obliterated every time they fight.
And he said that before that fight, he actually said that it got to him the last time he lost in Houston.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and you do it again.
And then he fought a dangerous knockout artist, and then he was winning, and he got knocked out of nowhere. It was like, bro, when I say no, like literally the soul of the whole city got sucked up out of nowhere. Like it felt like everybody lost their breath.
Yeah. I can imagine. I was there when my first fight that I ever went to was Max Holloway versus Aldo in 2017. Ooh. I think it was UFC 218. And that was the first time not the first time, the second time they've been to Detroit, but the first time we had it in our new arena. Yeah. And that was the joint where they knocked what's dog name? What's the kickboxer name? Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. He fought Brock Lesnar, and Ngannou knocked his head into the stratosphere.
Oh, Alice Overeem?
Yeah, that was that fight where he like literally decapitated that man in front of a crowd of 20,000. People went nuts, man.
Dang, I can't even imagine seeing that live.
It was that I have never seen.
Yeah, he fought a juiced up Alistair, man. Juiced the gills.
Listen, I mean, sent that boy head. Like my lady is not even she's not even an MMA fan. She's sitting next to me. She's like, oh my God. Like that was like, it looked brutal. Like from where you seen it, it was just the craziest thing ever. I was like, dog, his head snapped back. It was just unbelievable.
Man, that's one of the ones, even when you watch the replay now, it's just like, you know, sometimes you wonder, how do people like go through life after like dealing with something like that? Like, is your life normal when you wake up? Like, do you get headaches or like how do you deal with this?
But like when he lost, he was saying like he had issues with his like digestive system, right? When he lost to Alice Overeem.
No, we're talking about when Francis knocked out Alice Overeem.
Oh yeah,
bro. Like if you Alice Overeem, like how do you just live normal after that, my nigga? Like, do people look at you and pretend like that didn't happen, or?
And not only that, but like he took so much. Like it was brutal, man. It looked like terrible. It looked like he lost some brain cells.
It looked like
you know, it's crazy. It's like that Bigfoot Silver. Like right now, they said he like on like a 7-fight losing streak, like all knockouts and stuff like that. Like some of them, once you get like one knockout, could really just make your jaw like really just fragile. Like Chuck Liddell at the end of his, like
he said it can make it fragile.
Like yeah, man, because it'll shut it off like super quick. I've seen people take damage and get tapped with like a little babyest of shots, and they be out. So
man, is that, and it's also like a lot of fighters. If you look at them, like even like Tony Ferguson,
yeah,
he's been hurt a lot in a lot of his fights that he won. But I think it affects you psychologically, man. Like,
yeah.
Well, we're gonna see next because like this is really his first time getting knocked out. But like, I think it's next time. Like, I don't think he'll recover next time. Like, psychologically, you've been knocked out.
Well, he'll be in Bellator the next time, so I know that. So.
Tony, but it's about time for him to, you know, we can talk about that later, but it might be time for Dog to go head off into the woods, bro. It might not be the.
It was sad because we never saw him versus Khabib.
I know
it was scheduled like 6 times,
several times.
It's like, dang, man. Like,
and the crazy thing on Twitter, he did it today or last night. He keep dropping this poster for Team Ferguson versus Team Nurmagomedov for the Ultimate Fighter. Bro, your brain cells really like. Something,
unless he dropped down to bantamweight and fight Umar.
That's the only way it's gonna happen.
That's
the only Nurmagomedov you qualified.
I don't think, looking back now, I don't think Tony had enough to like. Khabib is a different animal, man. He would have ran through him too. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
I don't. The only thing is, man, like a lot of people saying that now, but at the time, like a lot of people thought Tony had a chance.
No, that's a fact. I was not one of them people though. I never, the way Dog used to just grab grown men like in the middle of their chest and like solar flex area and just drag them around I was like, Tony ain't even he got the loose, like what's like the like he's very loose, but he's not like dense, like he's not a heavy dude.
Exactly. He's not really known for his takedown defense. Because he's kind of like Carlos Condit. Like, he give up takedowns, but then he can pop back up at times.
But you ain't popping back up once Khabib grab you. That's the downfall. Ain't no popping.
At all.
Nobody pop. You know, the funny thing is the person who did the best was the person who will never fight for the title, Gleison Tebow. Yeah. Like, he did the best, but he's built like Khabib. Short, stocky, strong, you know what I'm saying? And Tony
like the Michael Chandler builds, like them dudes like that, them Chad Midland. Exactly. Them builds is crazy. They hard to beat.
That's what people say. Some people say Michael's a bad matchup for Khabib, who he was.
But the only thing is the cardio, because the thing is Khabib can do what he do for 5 rounds. Michael got one good round where he can knock all your teeth down your throat. But after that, you know, it ain't gonna be easy, but he starts to fade. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the muscles require a lot of oxygen, man. Joe Rogan say it all the time. Like, it's hard to keep. You know, hard to keep all that juice flowing all the time. I think that's why people don't really understand John Jones getting deadlier in like rounds 4 and 5. I'm like, dog legs look like a 12-year-old girl, but he be out here killing them, you know, like there's nothing they can do in them 4 and 5s, like, because most people be gassed out from the pressure and he just be settling in.
Yeah, but I think the thing is with John Jones, man, because like I think like pretty much I think he win like a lot of fights in the 4th and 5th round because it's hard. Because it was fights like versus Alexander, like he didn't really train for that fight. And he still was able to come back and win the 4th and 5th round and beat Alexander.
But then there was other fights after that, though, where he basically cruised in the 4th and 5th rounds. And everybody else looked like they had climbed Mount Everest and was, you know, at the top or something. And he was just, you know, kicking the front of their knee and elbowing them, and ain't wasn't nothing they could do.
That kick is like the one, like, I know everybody can look at a punch and be like, yeah, I know that shit hurt. But that kick just looked like it just all type of painful. Like, I ain't never, that one, like your knee bending the wrong place just looked like it's just, I wouldn't want to walk forward. You know what I'm saying? I would just have to keep my knee bent the whole time. Like,
that's why they say, that's why John Jones, he has a reputation of kind of being dirty. That's why, like even like with the elbows, and he does a lot of stuff like the eye pokes and stuff, man.
But I'm gonna tell you, but that knee kick though, I squeeze my knee every time he throw it. I lock mine up. I lock mine up. I don't care what I'm doing. I sit in style, and I say, nah, this is the most comfortable position for my knees right now, because that looked terrible, bro. It's just like you can't walk. Imagine somebody. You know, remember they used to do sports science? Did you ever used to watch that stuff back in the day?
Yeah. I love that.
Bro, they did a sports science with John Jones back in the day. They did one where he can hit you from 5 feet away.
Yeah.
Like that's a human being. Like that's the average height of like a woman. Like he can hit you from 5 feet away and you can't touch him. Can you imagine somebody can kick you in your knee and you can't even walk forward. You can't do nothing.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's scary.
It's crazy. He got this, and you know it's crazy. The one thing that, like, when you listen to like DC, you listen to Gus, you listen to all these guys, they all say he's one of the strongest light heavyweights they face, which most people would never take that from him. But they all say that. Like, DC has said it like so many times. He's like, yo, John is like, when he on top of you, he is a dog, like on top of you. It's crazy.
And for DC to say that, coming from his background and how he fight people, because he didn't say that about Dan Henderson. He didn't say that.
No, he didn't.
He didn't say that about a lot of heavyweights who, like, Derek Lewis was a big, strong dude. Granted, he never had a dominant position on DC, but even just in general, he never walked away from that fight talking about these people's strength. And he talked about John Jones being strong often. It's like
all the time. I don't think has Daniel been under anybody else but John?
No, I think that's the only person ever to take him down.
That's the only
Stipe, I think Stipe took him down, but I mean,
for like a second. Yeah. But Stipe,
he ain't been under anybody though, right? Like, he has not been in the has John been under anybody?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
John the only time John was really in trouble was didn't Alex take him down?
Alex took him down a couple times in the first round, in the first fight.
Yeah, but then he didn't. I don't think he did that no more after the first round though.
Yeah,
but then DC did pick him up and slam him, but like he already lost the first 4 rounds, and you wait to the 5th round and do that.
It's over with at that point. Yeah, that man, John, and man, we're gonna have to do a specific video on that one because we got a theory that John was on something. But we don't want to slander nobody, but man, the John Jones from 2012 that beat Shogun would destroy John Jones in 2022. It's just
I don't know, because I think John of 2022 is so much more smarter as a fighter.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And young John just got recklessness, and that can work. It can work because you can't contain like a tornado, so that can work, and that's how he used to fight. But
the thing is, like, I kind of disagree with that because, like, if you look at John Jones' last couple of fights, he's been squeaking by barely. And arguably losing. So I don't think he's been fighting smarter. I just think that he's weird. Not there. I don't think he's there like all the way, like mentally, like 100%. I don't think he's like putting all his effort in there.
You know, the thing is, it's a gift and a curse to be that good. That's what it is because
that's what I was about to say. Like, that's hard. It's hard to put it in context like that because, I mean, who has he really been? Like the Reyes one, I think it's going to be debatable because a lot of people, didn't like that shit. But I mean, bro tore, what's the dude with the little Thor hammer on his chest?
Oh, you talking about Thiago Santos?
So yeah, bro, he tore both of dog ACLs. Like, I know people was like it was closed, but dog couldn't walk.
Yeah, he couldn't do nothing.
Like, I think people got to start taking that into
consideration.
Yeah, but the thing is with John Jones, he's like how he's been the last couple of fights, but he was more dangerous when he was earlier. So he's like that same John Jones like of 2022, but he's like times 100.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think these niggas bored John Jones, if I'm being real with you. But look who he had to fight. I'm gonna go to John Jones' record, bro, and I'm gonna just ask you if any of these fights sound exciting. And the answer is gonna be no. If I go look at this, John Jones, he fought. Okay, now the thing about Dominic Reyes, Dominic kind of shot himself in the foot because he got knocked out a few times after that. So that kind of destroyed his claim of
beating John Jones
because it's like, well, why you couldn't beat nobody else after that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, Thiago Santos, John Jones probably was bored, bro. Anthony Smith, he was probably bored. Gustafsson, after Gustafsson was talking about retiring and all this stuff.
But hold on, let's stop right there. Because that one right there is one of the ones that I tell people in most recent times where a lot of people was talking crazy about John, where I feel like because people kept calling it close, he beat the shit out of him.
And nobody talks about it.
For 3 rounds. Like, a lot of people do not really give him the credit. He wanted to leave. That's why we don't even talk about that first fight like that no more. Because he like obliterated him like so bad. So
it's like people, it's funny because people was doing all this talking about how Alex supposedly beat him and stuff in the first fight. And then he got mauled in the second fight. And everybody act like it didn't happen. It's like these other close fights, like the split decision to Thiago, and let's say the Dominic Reyes fight was a unanimous decision. That wasn't even split.
Wasn't even split.
So it's like realistically, what would John do in the rematch? He destroyed him. Look at what Thiago career did after that. Look at what Dominic career did after that. Man, he would destroy all these people.
Yeah, I know it's unbelievable though. The fact that like John Jones was on cocaine the first fight. And he still some kind of way came back and won. And he was down. He pretty much, I don't know how you lose the first 3 rounds and win the 4th and 5th and win, but some kind of way he did it. He pulled it off.
Hey, my boy was coked up.
The most impressive part about it is I got DC watching everybody on that list too, and he watched DC. So I know that's MMA math, but I don't see, I don't see Dominic Reyes messing with DC at all. At all.
It's not close.
Not at all. So
Thiago Santos, forget about it. No. Anthony Smith, forget about it. Now DC did have a good fight with Alex, but and people actually think Alex won that one too. That's probably why Alex was finna retire because they kept screwing him.
Yeah, he was dropping Dan Fumi and everything.
I ain't gonna lie, they were screwing him. But you can't drop somebody and get picked up and slammed upside down.
That's the problem.
On your head.
You know what I'm saying? You doing the 12-6.
That's what I'm saying.
In the air right after you drop somebody, so it looked like it ain't really affect you that much. You know
exactly.
What I'm saying?
And then it looks bad because like how like they can measure like the distance that like a fighter move around. Apparently, like Alexander, he moved around like 12 miles.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So it's like, bro, it's not a good look, man. Like
It looked like he was running a little bit, I actually forgot that DC when it happened. But like, let's say DC against Over in St. Peru, man, you almost couldn't pay me to watch that. DC versus Glover. Look, I know Glover was been doing his thing lately, but let's be real. What would happen in that fight? DC versus Chael Sonnen, Vitor Belfort, Lyoto Machida.
Wait. But let's do that. Hold on, because that Vitor was juiced up. Vitor almost.
That's true. That's a different monster.
He like DC Vitor that caught John in the arm, and we all thought, it looked like it's about to be his first real loss, and John put that boy down too. So
if
Vitor fight somebody on 10 minutes notice, TRT Vitor.
Hey, as long as he got that juice in him. Hey, Tito, what his name? I don't know why I call him Tito. Vitor is a dangerous person. It's like you got two different Vitors, man. Yeah. Like you can put TRT Vitor against any.
It's three though. See, that's because TRT dude is all right, but young him was fighting heavyweight.
You talking about heavyweight steroid, 290 pounds of muscle.
He was in his final form when he was 19.
Yeah, like wearing the wrestling shoes. Like dog was a monster, like punching straight with no leg power, but it was all arms, pulling dudes like all the way to the other side of the ring. Like he was a monster.
I think Vitor got one of the most embarrassing knockout wins on his record, bro. When he knocked out Vanderlei Silva.
Oh, that was
so embarrassing, man. Vanderlei didn't know where he was. He was like, whoa.
I think Vanderlei still trying to find himself today after that knockout. Because after every knockout, he looked the same way. Like, bro, he just bum rushed the dude in like that. He looked like
20 seconds.
Barry Allen Flash Speed Force knockout. Like, what is this? But man, that
and to this day, Vitor never replicated that. Well, he did it a couple times.
I don't know, man. He
not like that though.
He put a few people down. But man, we finna go. We gonna start with this UFC 276 card. I ain't gonna lie to you. Do you got the card pulled up, or because I'm on SureDog? I go to SureDog.com and look at the card. And I don't know if you know too much about this first fight. It's the Jessica Rose Clark. I've seen her fight a few times, but I don't have the whole world to say about her. She ain't like a Rose or an Amanda Nunes or nothing.
Yeah. I don't know too much. You know what? It's crazy. I don't really. The women bantamweight is very hard to really until they start getting into that preliminary area. That's where I really start paying attention to them. Like, because a lot of times you be thinking like, I know Angela Hill more than almost any other female fighter, and she catch L's sometimes. Like her record is like, I think it's like even,
bro. Damn near .500. But I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I hate the way they do her record because she got a bunch of split decision losses on. She did not lose half them fights, bro. And I'll die on that hill. Yeah. I'm like, for whatever reason, her and Edson Barbosa, the UFC, the judges, they do not like them. Split decision, you ain't getting it. Like for whatever reason. So for that one, man, to be honest, one of those girls on a 3-fight loser streak, and the other one is on a 1-fight loser streak.
Bro, the only thing is Jessica, bro, she got submitted her last fight, and the girl she's fighting against, she has 9 wins and 8 submissions.
So that just let me know that she probably lose by submission here. So so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go to the next fight. Do you know too much about Brad Tavares?
I do know Brad Tavares, and I like his style. I think he's on like a couple of wins right now, a couple like 2 or 3 win streak right now.
Yeah.
So I do like he up and down. Like I thought like 2017, 2018 was gonna be his like years, but he ran into Izzy, and then
and that's the crazy part. He ran into, bro. If I look at his last his last 2 losses was Israel and Edmund Shabazian, when Edmund was supposed to be that guy. Like, when he was supposed to be the next one. Mm-hmm. And that ain't a bad loss for 2019, but like
that'd be a good run back fight too, bro. Let's run that back.
Yeah, he'll kill. I mean, don't run the Izzy fight back though. I know that. Yeah. Don't run that one back.
It's crazy, but like ever since like the Izzy thing, it's just kind of always, because I know the Tallis latest fight, I watched that one, and I think he fought Ellis after that one, and I'm like, he was good on both. I like him. I always thought Brad Tavares had it, but he started running into them killers. Like when he ran into Robert, I don't think he fared too well. Like
that was like 44 seconds. That was like real quick, I don't think people really knew Robert was gonna be that good too. I ain't gonna lie to you, because the Ultimate Fighter Australia and all that is like, how often do we get a champion from like that?
And what's weird, and I think like I don't think they'll fight again, but if they fought again, I think Robert's approach would be different, because that Robert was a killer, and now he kind of fights smarter, man. Stay on the outside, like outpoint his opponent. So I think if they fought again, I think Brad will have a chance. To be honest with you, well, not a chance, but a better chance.
He might. I always liked his hands. I thought he had great hands. Always.
Yeah, he's straight, man. It just the one thing about Brad is like he athletic and strong, and he's a little bit good everywhere, but he ain't great in one area that give him a definitive way to win. You know what I'm saying? That's why like sometimes when he run into people who can KO him, like you know what I'm saying? Because like they have a definitive way of they have a definitive way of beating him. And he don't really have a definitive way to get people out of there. And we talk about this all the time. You need at least, if you ain't got no other move, you need at least a rear naked choke. You know what I'm saying? Like you at least need to get people out of there, get people down with your size and strength. You're good enough everywhere to do it. Yeah. But
I think I kind of would disagree with that a little bit, man, because I think Brad, he has knockout power. But if you go back, like even his last fight against Omari, man, like he hurt him and everything. Sometimes he just don't pull the trigger.
But I think that's because he got knocked out a few times. And what happened is he like a little bit cautious because you don't want to run in like you did when you was younger and get caught. And now you was winning. Now you knocked out and stuff like that. So that might have something to do with it.
It's a fickle game, man. You gotta understand. He been fighting for 10 years.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It is. You done seen everything. Like it's been so many changes. People that done came up over him, went under him, fell out of order, been in order. Like it's a real hard. Like a lot of people ain't built for like that Max Holloway run or that Tony Ferguson run. It's not. You start losing to them big names because like when losing to Robert, like how he did, and then you start losing to Izzy, and then these guys is real fixtures in your division. That just further cements you not being nowhere close to that top 5. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, that does make sense because it's like you finally got there, and then there was such a wide margin of like skill that it's like, oh snap, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like, how do you get? Because like even like Derek Brunson will get right there, and then he'll get to Izzy, and then it's like 2 minutes, and it's like, oh my goodness, you done knocked out 5 people in a row, and then you got to the top, and the skill margin was that wide that you didn't stand a chance. Like now the dude he fighting, have you ever seen this dude Dricus Duplessis?
No, I'm not too it's weird because I watch a lot of prelims and don't know the actual fighters and stuff like that. So I don't know. Is he new? Is he?
No,
he got 2 fights in the UFC. Man, you might not remember the first one because I mean that was in 2020, and the person he fought ain't really the biggest name. But there was a guy, a black guy named Trevin Giles. I don't know if you ever watched him, but he kind of nice with some hands and stuff. But they had a good fight, and Trevin was actually winning, and he dropped his hands for 2 seconds, and Dricus beat him. Now the thing about Dricus is he come from South Africa, European guy, but South Africa. But his record is 16-2. But the thing is, all his wins come by finish. He don't let nobody go to the scorecards. So that's crazy because he got 7 KOs and 9 submissions. And, Brad sometimes every now and then he'll get on the win streak, and then you just don't know if, you know what I'm saying?
Then you got somebody like, pretty much, what's his name? Dricus Duplessis. You got somebody like him, bro, who's a finisher, who's fighting against Brad, who can be hard to finish. So that's what makes this fight interesting.
But Brad is very difficult to finish, especially now with the experience. But the thing is, sometimes Brad is a little bit too passive. Like, and sometimes he's content with the fight going at a certain pace. Like, does that make sense? You know that pace that Brad fights at, to where like he don't let it go. He don't let it go into like a crazy firefight, but it ain't necessarily boring. It's just kind of like that middle of the ground, I'll get the 29-28 deal. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think Brad looking good after the fight with no scratches and stuff, man.
Hey, if I look like that, I probably wouldn't want to be getting scratched up either, to be honest. So
he a tough out. He definitely a tough out.
Yeah. So I mean, with him having the experience, I probably lean more towards Brad, but he got to be on his P's and Q's because this dude, he finished people, he get people out of there. Now, the next fight is flyweight. It's Jessica I and Macy Barber. How much do you know about them?
So first of all, I think Jessica I need to go ahead and hang it up.
Bro, we've been saying thank you.
Especially with the OnlyFans, bro. She's not there, bro. Like 100%. She's not all the way there mentally.
Dog, yeah. She has won one of the last 5 fights. She is 1-4, and I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of these fights, even in the losses, because people can lose and look good losing. Sometimes people, Max lost 2 fights in a row, and he looked good in them 2 fights. Bro,
which fights we talking about?
He ain't looking good in these fights, man. And
what fights you talking about with Max?
Against Dustin Poirier and against Volkanovski.
He ain't lose against Volk, but we can go ahead. He lost. He took that L against.
We gonna get him there a little bit, man.
I know you got.
Don't get me hot because I'm the biggest Max dude. We ain't doing that one.
I know you got the whole word to say about that one. But man, to be honest, she lost to. She didn't lose. Valentina Shevchenko. That ain't bad, but that was a head kick knockout, and then she kind of lost. I just don't see. I'm not just overly impressed by Jessica, man. I know it's easier said than done, but I'm gonna be real. If there's anybody who's gonna do less in a fight, then Jessica is probably Macy Barber.
Listen, that's why I said this is gonna be the shortest fight. Not to cut y'all off. This is gonna be probably the shortest one we probably talk about. Honestly, because I ain't sold on neither one. I think Macy got a lot of hype coming in. Yes. And I think Jessica just at the tail end. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard when I think they really trying to set Macy Barber up for a showcase type of fight against a name that's known.
That's smart.
And if she don't, I think she might end up getting her walking papers too, because she's not really blowing anybody away. It's very hard as a woman flyweight. You got to be really technical.
Yes.
Or you got to have something that makes people want to watch you. Quiet as kept. Like a lot of people thought Paige had pillow hands, but Paige looked good, so everybody wanted to tune in.
Yes.
So you got to have something if you ain't got the skills. So
you know what? I think you hit the nail on the head on all that, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Macy, she came in with a lot of hype, but there was one good knockout win. But even then, she was losing until that happened in the second round. Yeah. And people know she's a slow starter, and there's a lot of mental hurdles. And I don't know, man. She kind of got to, really bring it all together. But I think you're right, man. Jessica getting out of there, and they trying to see if Macy gonna step up or
really do something, bring them knockouts back. Because these decision wins for the smaller fighters, I always thought that was DJ's problem when he was doing it. It was just like if he was sleeping more dudes, I think people would be into it. They don't care. People like seeing people get slept no matter what size you is.
That's true.
And I think DJ was just an overall monster, but
and it comes back again to that not having a definitive way to get people out of there, because certain people, even like you say like a Jeremy Stephens. Okay, Jeremy Stephens had some ups and some downs, but one thing about it is you knew what Jeremy was coming to do. Period. It's Chris Lieben. You knew what Chris Lieben was coming to do. Period. And you just know that. And when you don't see that, it's like, you don't really get inspired by their fights. Now, somebody who also, they got some mental stuff they got to get past. The next fight is Uriah Hall and Andre Muniz. How you say that name, man? Because I'm gonna say Andre.
I'm gonna say Andre Muniz. Yeah.
Now, do you know who this guy is?
I know. Yeah, I know both of them. So, but Uriah though, we all came up from under the Tough. Me and my little brother loved Uriah when we used to watch him on Tough or whatever, and that little spinning kick. Everybody was like, "Oh, this dude about to be crazier, Anderson. Like he about to be nuts." And speaking of not pulling the trigger, it was always him. He could never pull that trigger to let that talent and that power that we know he got out. So
the only thing is with Uriah, man, I think like he's like around like the top 7 type fighters. And like I think like even with Andre, I don't think Andre is ready for this caliber of fight, man.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. I'm saying like you have to like earn their like spot in the top 7. Man. And like Uriah Hall, you gotta understand he lost to Sean Strickland, but before that he had won 4 in a row though, man. I mean, we can't pretend like Uriah Hall.
But the thing is, at least with Andre, we getting the same Andre every time.
And then another thing is Andre has 4 like TKO losses.
Well, that's interesting. I ain't gonna lie.
Because you got saying if Uriah can catch him,
but that wasn't his last loss was in 2016, bro. Like it's 2022. The thing you keep saying if Uriah can catch him, but that's the problem. The if. How many times do we watch a Uriah fight and we're waiting on that if and we're waiting on that win? You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this, dude. The reason why I'm picking Uriah Hall, well, the only factor I see is his age. But if it wasn't for that, like I'm looking at his losses: Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa, Gegard, Derek Brunson, Robert Whitaker. Those are people in the top 5, man.
Killers. So, all killers.
That's true. I ain't gonna lie though. I mean, you're right. And like you really can't really just throw Andre up there like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we ain't gonna act like Andre didn't break Jacare's arm. He did.
Like, and you know what the craziest part about it is? He be getting put to sleep by like wrestlers. Like that's where he's supposed to be like that guy. He get put to sleep by wrestlers. Like,
hey, I hate to say this though, man, because even Chris Weidman kind of put him to sleep like back in the day. Uriah Hall.
Yeah,
Chris Weidman put him to sleep, bro. And they fought again, and he broke his leg though. But I think Chris probably would have caught him. And I love Uriah Hall, man. But the wrestling, walking forward, like applying pressure, mixing up, bro. Like he kind of susceptible to that against wrestlers.
Yeah, because I think he'd be so worried about the takedown.
Exactly.
That he mess around and just like he keep his hands low. He always kind of fought with his hands low, little not quite Wonder Boy style, but he keep it kind of like where the pec area is.
Yes.
So, but I'm gonna be honest, man. If Uriah come out like he wanted, I think he could take it.
Yes.
But if it go down, it's over.
It's over, bro. But and the thing is, Uriah gotta pull the trigger, bro. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that ain't helping it. This is a big old card, and Uriah don't like pressure, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you,
man. Baby, Uriah fought Antonio Carlos. Like he fought some people, bro. Like Gegard couldn't submit him in the first round.
Well, I think that's true. I think
people sleeping on Uriah Hall round game. Will he go out there and lose a decision? Yeah, maybe so.
But this guy more likely to submit him and not decision him. Like, but I mean that's gonna be a good one. Now the next one. Now this is somebody else who got to pull the trigger. Now Bobby Green was supposed to fight Jim Miller, but yeah, I don't know how you feel about Cowboy, but Cowboy fighting Jim Miller now. Now the first time Cowboy knocked the Sonic rings out of Jim Miller's head.
He showed he didn't belong in the top like 5.
Yeah, he knocked the Mario coins out of his head. But now we got a Donald Cerrone who's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight losing
who a lot older, who shouldn't have been doing.
And you know, and this is the thing I talk to Joe about all the time. Realistically, he lost to Alex Morono, Anthony Pettis, Conor McGregor, Justin Gaethje, and Tony Ferguson. It ain't like Jim Miller would have beat none of them people either. Like, if we just being real about it, like.
And I don't even think Jim Miller ever fought anybody as good as those guys.
Because the last 2 people that Jim beat was making their UFC debut. So I don't even know how in the world he got some of the most fights in the UFC, and you fighting people making their debut, and you on a win streak of people who have a combined 3, 4 fights in the UFC at this point. You know what I'm saying?
But he's a fan favorite. You know, people love Jim. You know what I'm saying? Like he been around. He one of them originals. You know what I'm saying? He done had them. I think them Clay Guida fights and all them guys. He done fought everybody. Like he done lost to a lot of them. I think I know. I remember him losing. I remember Dan Hooker. I think put him to sleep. He lost to a couple of dudes. Like, but he done fought everybody from like I think Dustin a couple of times. Like he's. You know, so people love him. Like he really is. He lose to the big names, but he's that guy that opens the card up. You know what I'm saying? So you always got to kind of give him that. I don't know. He got some flavor. Yeah,
he do got a little bit. Man, if I'm looking at the list now that you mentioned it, I go look at his. He been in the UFC.
Everybody coming in.
2008, bro. And then some of the people that he fought before the UFC, they actually ended up going into the UFC. He fought Frankie Edgar and Bart Palazowski. He fought a bunch of people, bro. This dude got Charles Oliveira, Gleison Tebow, Kamal Chalarus, Ben Henderson,
some wins. Like he got some real wins against crazy talent. Like he got a win over the champ.
Yeah, but
I didn't think about that.
What did he say?
Oh, he got a win over Charles, but Charles did come back and eat him up.
Charles got back and avenged it, but he got a win over the champ.
Yeah, he took Charles' undefeated record.
Well, he said something like that was powerful, bro. Like he said he lost to Dan Hooker. What if they ran this fight back? What if he beat like Donald Cerrone Because Dan has been looking horrible, man. Like he's in multiple weight classes. I think if Jim go out there and he make and get an impressive win,
which he very well might. So how do y'all think this fight will play out at this point? Because like realistically, you know, Donald didn't look that bad against Anthony Pettis, to be honest. Like, I mean,
I'm gonna tell you,
he did look
honest. I got Jim Miller taking this, and the reason why is because Donald was supposed to fight for like the last 2-3 months, and it keeps getting pushed back. That training, that body, that eating what you want, not eating what you want, going back and forth, that reckless training. Like, you remember Donald used to be like, oh, in a month I need another fight. Oh, I need another fight. Like, I really feel like he a little punch drunk. Where Jim Miller 34, win streak, like 34 wins comes over like 12, 14 years. Donald did like 20 fights in like 6 years. Like, he really was like that guy. He was that original guy before. What's my man with the cleft lip that be with what's the new guy? Is it Hamzat?
Yes, yeah.
He was the original Hamzat. Like, I'll take it right now. We can go next week. Like, that's how he used to get down. So
the only thing is, how is Jim gonna win? He don't have a definitive way to win.
But the thing is, I don't think it's so much about Jim being as good as it's just where is Donald mentally. Like, I can see Donald going to sleep, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I can see. I ain't saying Jim gonna fly and knee my boy or nothing like that. I ain't saying it's gonna be, Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson. But I can see a winging left hand and just bam, Donald sleep.
I could see a ugly fight for an ugly fight win for Jim, mainly because, one, Jim don't get knocked out. He don't get submitted. He lose by elongated decisions. He don't get knocked out at all. And on top of that, Donald used to be like the hell-raising kick thrower. He don't do it like that no more.
That's true.
And we ain't really seen that jiu-jitsu come out for real like that in a long time. Like, he used to have crazy jiu-jitsu back when he was with John and all of them back in the day.
Yep.
I ain't seen that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if Jim make it ugly, I think he can make it. He can take it.
Nothing against Jim striking got like a whole lot better.
That's true. Jim striking has look better.
Man, dude, that's a fact.
Hey, Jim got a left hand on him now, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
He got it.
I just think it's different levels, man. I think Donald is a level above Jim, man. And like, I think like because he's so well rounded, Jim can't take him down. I think he's going to struggle against that.
I don't know. But one thing is, Jim brings it from the beginning to the end, and Donald don't start fighting until halfway through the fight. Donald turns it on, and then it helped him when he was able to get those finishes. But now, when the finishes ain't really coming like that, it's like,
and sometimes, not to interrupt, sometimes Donald don't cut it on. He be timid. You've seen him be timid.
That's true.
He will act like he don't know how to throw no punches, no kicks, no nothing. Donald used to have the craziest kicks, man, to that leg. Like, this is the era for, realistically, Donald Cerrone with them lower leg kicks. Like, this is really, he used to just kill people with them big old board shorts on and just tear them legs up.
And then he'll come up high with that, and then he'll go to the body, and then when they start blocking low, that head kick was there every single time. That's how he got Jim the first time.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but he don't really do it like that anymore. So, to be honest, my final pick, I'll probably go more lean towards Jim at this point.
I'm going Jim Miller on that.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna go with Donald, man. I think it's different levels, bro. But I mean,
so we'll see. Now next we got, man. Now, to be fair, I don't know the whole world about this Gabriel Green, but I did see the last 2 fights of this Ian Gary. Have you seen the hype about this kid?
I don't know. These are the 2 guys I don't know too much about.
But Ian Gary, bro, is coming out of Ireland, huh? Is he coming out of Ireland? Like, I think Conor McGregor is like his idol, but basically he is one of those. If I put him in a category now, he coming out of Ireland, Dublin, Ireland. He's in the category of like how people like Sage and people like Darren Till, like how they like these type of fighters. Like, he's one of those guys, but he seems to actually have, like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You talk about some strike. You talking about a good IQ and somebody who can control a fight and he can even be losing and he could come out in the second round and shift gears and make reads and put you to, bro, his first fight in the UFC, it was a bunch of hype. He was losing that whole round. Bro, he knocked the dude out with 1 second left to go. The dude made one mistake, bro, and he sniped him and put him down.
I think I've seen his fights. I really got to start paying attention to these guys' names, but they roster is like, it's crazy. I think they got like 300 fighters. So you be thinking like, is that guy from this one, that fight night? But it'd be a whole new guy from like FC or, you know what I'm saying, PFL that you ain't never heard of, but he got a similar name. So man, that roster is crazy.
This dude is a sniper. Yeah, he one of the people, man, he'll get drowned out because like really, I want to say it was more so me just kind of seeing about him on Twitter than anything. Like I like if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have necessarily been paying attention either. But the fact that I think I had money on that fight. And the thing is, I like to put money on the finish. And I thought the other guy was going to win. And man, one punch, man, he just like, I was like, holy crap. You mean to tell me you could be losing and you could hear the crowd booing and you could just knock somebody out like that? That's a lot. And then the next fight, he fought a guy who, was an average regional circuit guy, but nothing like necessarily too special. Somebody who got to get more experience and they got to refine their skills. And that's kind of what this guy he's fighting now, kind of remind me of him. This guy is 11-3. Mm-hmm. He got 6 submission wins, 4 knockout wins. He got 3 losses, 2 of them by TKO. My first thought is Ian gonna TKO this dude, I ain't gonna lie, and probably put him away in about the second round. That's my first thought.
I don't think he's gonna put him away, man, because like he went to war with Daniel Rodriguez. Yeah, I know who that is, right?
You know who Daniel Rodriguez is? Because this dude is.
I'm trying to. I'm bad with names, man. I recognize talent more than
he flying under the radar. See, the thing is, he had won about 4 fights in the UFC before. I knew who he was too. I ain't gonna lie to you, but he on a win streak, bro. And if you see, who did Daniel Rodriguez fight last?
He fought Kevin Lee. He fought Kevin.
Oh, he fought Kevin. He beat Kevin Lee last fight.
I know him. I know him. Yes,
guy. And he underrated, man. And people, he underrated, but he done won some fights in a row. He only got like 1 loss in the UFC. That was a close fight. I think he won, but
yeah, he won Nicholas.
But to be fair, I think Ian probably put this guy away. To be honest, what you think, though?
Man, I think it's gonna be a war, man. I say Ian gonna win a decision.
Yeah,
because that guy stuff his nails. Like he's durable. I mean, he got 2 knockout losses, but like as of late, he hasn't really been TKO.
Well, that's true.
And he's been going to decision.
Well, we'll keep an eye out on them. So next time because I think this guy will win, and then we'll know like, okay, because what we like to do is after the fights, we like to do like a what's next for this fighter. So then we'll kind of look at the rankings and see like what the skill was, how the fight played out, what you think will happen for him next time. Now we got Robbie Lawler and Brian Barberena. Now
this is one I've been waiting to talk about right here. I got a big issue with Brian Barberena.
What's that?
I was one of those people that was originally in love with Sage Northcutt. And I always thought like, Brian Barberena, he was all right. And I was so hurt back in 2016 when he ultimately took young Sage Northcutt away. I liked like his whole style. And Brian Barberena like robbed me of my moment. I like all the way to like when Dana White looking for a fight, all this other stuff. And I was so happy when like, I think Leon Edwards beat him like the next time or like the time, like his first loss, like after that, I was so happy. But I was like, man,
he was praying on his downfall like that.
I was, man, because I like Sage and I thought Sage could, I think with some time, he could have been cold.
I remember that.
Man, you really remember all the details, man. It's funny because Sage had a big old like following, but I just never met none of those people in real life until now because it was all on the internet, and I was like, bro, like, what did y'all see in Sage, bro? Like,
man, but you listen, Sage was like strong on the board. He did all the karate, he did all that other stuff. He had really great balance. Like when he fought, like a lot of dudes, like you could tell when a dude is heavy. Like when you got a heavy fighter, they react different. Like the guy was nice and all that other stuff, and all that other stuff is that's cool for like TV and stuff. But when he fought, they was like dudes was really having a tough time with like he just didn't have any ground game. But like when he was on top of them punches was hitting, man. They was really effective.
and I'm looking at his UFC record, bro. The reality is, bro, he only lost 2 times in the UFC, bro. He won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He was 6-2 in the UFC, bro. And people say he was overrated. That's crazy. We got to make a video. We got to make a separate video on that because I just realized that, honestly, he lost to Mickey Gall and Brian Barberena. First of all, Brian Barberena probably had 20-odd fights at that time, to be honest. So he had way more experience.
And he had no ground game, and Mickey Gall took advantage of that. Just like, and that's what he
took advantage of it.
I know. But because if it was a stand-up fight, he was gonna piece Mickey up. You know what I'm saying? So
he took advantage of my boy and just choked him.
So, like, how y'all feel about the Brian and Matt Brown fight?
I mean, that fight was, I don't know, man.
Because I think Matt Brown won.
I think Matt Brown won, but
I'm with you on that one.
Oh, you didn't see that one?
No, actually, I think Matt Brown won too. I thought
Matt did enough. And then normally they don't rob people in their hometown, but of course in Cleveland, that would be the city where you don't get no hometown cooking. But what you think, Rob? What you think gonna happen in this fight? Because Robbie looked good in the Nick Diaz fight, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Robbie
and that broke his losing streak.
Robbie's one of my favorite fighters, mainly because Robbie one of the only fighters that I know that don't warm up before his fights.
Wait, what?
He's sitting in the locker room the whole time, and then when the fight go out, he just go out and bang.
Well, that explained why he was 2-5 in his last 7 fights.
But he been like that forever. He's always been that guy. He never ever. He always just goes out there and bang. Like he might do some like walk around like light cardio. He don't throw no hands. He don't do none of that pad stuff. Nothing. He go out there and bang.
That's probably why he tore his knee in the RDA fight.
That's a fact.
He ain't stretching or nothing. This dude crazy.
He might stretch, but he's like, I remember Joe Rogan said that. He was like, he do not warm up before fights. He just go out there and bang.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Man, he had shoulder. Did he have shoulder surgery? And like he can remember, Robbie hadn't fought in a long time, and I want to say that he had some surgeries or something that was going on. I wonder if they got anything to do with it, because that's man. Of course, Robbie would be the guy to be that crazy. Now, what you think will happen in this fight? Because Robbie is, I'm hoping for Robbie to get a TKO win, because I like Robbie, man, to go into all of the different places that he fought and to go to Strike Force. But he fought in the Elite XC, if you remember them days.
Yep.
Elite XC, man, Strike Force, IFL, Icon Sport, Pride, Super Brawl, bro. Man, look, for him to go and do all that, come back, win the UFC belt. Look, we don't see that all the time. Like, to be honest, we see actual champions come over and lose their UFC title shot in a fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he actually got on a win streak, won the title, did dang good, to be honest. And he lost to a prime Tyron Woodley. And ain't no shame in it,
That's one of my favorite fights.
We saw Robbie Lawler get a highlight reel knockout.
His last fight against Nick Diaz.
No, prior to that, man.
His last win before that was Donald Cerrone, but his last win before that was a split decision to Carlos, which that took a lot out of him because they went to war. And then it was the Rory McDonald fight in 2015.
Man, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. I ain't gonna lie.
I can see Brian putting together a game plan.
I ain't gonna lie.
To be honest with you, man.
I could kind of see Brian doing something here, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, consistency. He's been that guy who's been fighting recently. Yeah. But then you ask guys like Dominic Cruz who don't believe in ring rust. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe in none of that. So, he could be well rested. You know what I'm saying? I feel like wars matter, but I don't think that between him and Rory McDonald, I don't think them wars ever wear off, like ever. It's that JDS thing. It's like once you've been banging like that, like I don't think Overeem should ever fight again after that Ngannou thing. I don't think you should ever fight.
Some of that stuff stick with you, and that actually might play into Brian Barberena being able to do a little bit more here than people might give him credit for. Now, one thing is I do see that Brian Barberena was TKO'd here by Vicente and Randy Brown. So that could play. And and Robbie looked dang good in that Nick Diaz fight, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He looked like the old Robbie. Maybe that was because he was fighting Nick Diaz, but he looked good. What's your final prediction?
This is tough, man. Like, this is almost 50-50. Oh, man. But he is a, like, prolific knockout artist. He's fighting against somebody who's, I don't think he can take down.
I think Brian take a lot of damage, too. A lot of unnecessary damage trying to be tough.
I don't think he can do that against Robbie, though. I think because Robbie is, I think there's a blueprint to beat Robbie.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, probably I want Robbie to win by highlight reel knockout, but realistically, I think Brian.
But I don't think Brian got the type of wrestling to do that. Like he got beat by Colby Covington, Ben Askren, Rafael dos Anjos, Tyron Woodley. Brian Barberena ain't none of those people.
And Robbie did hurt Ben. You remember that?
Yeah, and really that finish was actually messed up because he didn't tap. Like it was a weird. The referee messed
very
up.
Weird, and he went 3 rounds. Was it 3 or 4? I'm sorry, 3 or 5 with Kobe.
Yep, 5 rounds. 5 rounds.
5 rounds with Kobe, bro. That's not. And Kobe, listen, I don't like Kobe Covington, but
he's that. He would be the champion if Kamaru wouldn't. That's what I've been saying.
A real killer. You know what I'm saying? A real one.
So I mean that ain't bad, man. So I'm gonna pick Robbie. I don't necessarily know if I see a TKO. I hope that I get a TKO win, but I'm gonna pick him by decision at least.
I'm going with the sweetheart choice. I'm gonna go with Robbie, just because I don't like Brian Barberena, and I'm still going to continuously pray on that man's downfall.
Praying on his downfall. That's funny. I'll be interested to see how that fight play out. Now we got Jalen Turner versus Brad Riddell. Are you familiar with Jalen Turner fights?
Yes.
That dude, hey man, he on a win streak too, bro. He look, bro. He finished every fight that he won in the UFC. And his losses came to Vicente. He was making his UFC debut. He did a spin. He was doing good and did a spinning back elbow and got caught. I mean, just a young move. And then he lost a decision to a strong wrestler, Matt Frivola. But other than that, bro, he done all his from the contender. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He finished all 6 people. He fighting Brad Riddell, who Brad Riddell only lost 1 fight in the UFC, and that's to Rafael Fiziev, who finna fight Rafael dos Anjos next week. So
this is gonna be a banger right here. I'm very excited about this fight. I think, you know what I'm saying, Turner really caught me with the I said, what's the Rotter or the Rotel? Whichever dude, I forgot. It's Potter. He finished him in the first round. I really like him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This one's gonna be a banger. This is one of those good ones, man. This one could really be on the main card, in my opinion. I feel like I like him. So
you're right.
I think Luque is, that's hard.
That's a tough fight. In your debut, like
that's almost on some setup type.
Yeah, they kind of said, but see, Vicente ended up being better than what people gave him credit for.
Yeah.
In hindsight, that fight should have never happened.
That's a lot.
Now, the only thing about this fight is Jalen is more like a sniper, but he got good angles, creative, use his range. Man, he long, but he got a lot of knockout power. You don't necessarily see a lot of longer, rangier guys with knockout power like that. But he got a lot of knockout power for his frame. And the thing is, Brad Riddell hit hard too. But the thing is, he loaded up on a lot of his punches. Like in all his UFC fights, all of them went to decision except for the last one when he got knocked out by a spinning wheel kick.
That's a fact.
So, I mean, him loading up on those punches, I think that gives Jalen an advantage if he can keep his distance. He got to fight kind of like a Randy Brown. He got to fight like a Randy Brown type
too.
I like Randy. Reach for Jalen Turner.
Yeah, that's a lot of reach.
That's a lot of reach, man.
I like Randy so much.
Now the thing is, Brad been getting better with his wrestling. I ain't gonna lie though, like because coming from that kickboxing background, people like to try to exploit that, but he don't really just get taken down. Like a lot of times when people try to take him down now, he'll use the wizard. He can stay up and he can actually, reverse takedowns and stuff like that. So but Jalen ain't gonna be going for no wrestling though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like, so he ain't gonna have to really worry about that. But I think that, but I'm more concerned with what if Jalen hurts him standing up and he start wrestling Jalen. But Jalen do got submissions though.
Jalen got submissions. The height advantage is crazy. The reach advantage is crazy.
He's
I feel like it's
But Jalen is on a 4-fight win streak right now.
Yeah, my ultimate pick is gonna be Jalen, but he got to stay away. If he stays away and do what he do, it's Brad gonna have to close that distance though.
Yeah, and I think it'd be too dangerous. So I'm going with Jalen as well. Who you going?
I'm going with Brad Riddell, man, because like at one point he was in the top 15, top 10, whatever, like probably around.
He's in the top 15 right now. We just went to the rankings. He's in there.
At one point he was ranked like number 11.
Yeah.
So
I ain't mad at your pick, bro. I'm not mad at it.
I think it's different levels. I think you have to earn this win, man. And guys, we see guys, I'm not saying like Jalen gonna get to this point and lose, but we see like contenders get to this point against like guys in top 15 and they just go out there and get embarrassed, man. Like whether it's mental or maybe it's just like a skill deficiency.
Man, but I'll tell you what, man, I think Jalen gonna turn up on this one, man. Now the next one we got, this is gonna be a crazy one. Sugar Sean O'Malley and Pedro Munoz. Now look, we got this thing. We know Pedro is underrated, and every time you count him out, he'll go out there and he'll get a win. I just don't think this is one of those times, personally.
Me neither.
I don't see it. I mean, Sean would really have to drop the ball here. I'm gonna be real with you.
My thing was like Pedro never been knocked down. Well, he's never been knocked out. I think he's never been knocked down
up until now.
This is my thing, right? Like, what if Sean can't get him out like in the first or second round?
And he 10-8 him for he 30-27 is dude.
Yeah,
like I just don't see how Pedro. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's ways for Pedro to win. He got good submissions. He can knock people out. Don't get me wrong. Pedro ain't no slouch. You know what I'm saying? He lost to Dominic Cruz, Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar, Aljamain Sterling, John Dawson. Ain't none of these people no slouches, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But Sean, you got to realize, Sean, I don't know if you know this, bro, but Sean ain't even in the top 10. Like,
that's crazy.
He's not in the top 10.
But he hasn't earned it, though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He has to, his name is further along in the rankings than his actual
body of work
is. And people talk about Sean fighting for the title every single week. Sean has to win this fight, bro. Like, he just cannot lose this fight. He already had his one fuck up, and that was against Cheeto.
And now that's not a fuck up. I really do believe he undefeated. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't buy the Cheeto shit. Like, bro, everybody in the world seen Dog Knee go out. All seen it.
Yeah.
And up until that point,
he was winning.
He was tagging his ass up.
And it's like,
but look at Cheeto now though. He's been on a tear. So in hindsight, it's like,
I mean, it ain't a bad thing. But the fact of the matter is, like, his ankle or something twisted in the fight, and he fell and got and then covered up. Well, he was covering up his ankle, and then he got TK. I mean, well, he didn't even go to sleep or nothing, but you know, he was holding his ankle while getting punched in the face, and the referee stopped him. So it ain't even like he really just lost. It ain't
he went out like a G. He went out like a G, in my opinion. He still, because Marlon ain't want to jump in there for real. Like, he really was like, because before he went and tagged that leg, like when he found out it was a leg thing, he was really kind of like, all right, let me come in there. Every time Sean was hitting with a pow, every time with the 1-2. So,
and this might be.
So y'all don't think, because I'm looking at Sean O'Malley, like his statistics, he has 64% takedown defense.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that.
Who took him down?
I think it was it?
So you talking about one of these early UFC fights, bro, from 2018?
Because
the last 3 fights, he didn't get taken down against Paiva, Matino, Thomas Almeida, and I think he maybe got taken down once by Marlon Vera or something like that. I mean,
hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna say, if I'm Pedro, I'm attacking the knee. I'm attacking his legs, bro. Leg kicks. They don't mix up the takedowns. This fight going to the ground. This fight, like,
this dude is evil.
This fight going to the ground, man. Like, fuck this, bro.
But do you think Pedro can do it?
No, he can't.
You got to do it.
He's not going to do that.
Pedro not going to do that. I don't know what God Pedro prays to, but Saturday morning he need to get up bright and early when the sun come out, and he need to go out on the back of the balcony in the hotel and lift his hands up in prayer and ask God to give him a vision of what he need to do, because
or just not show up in the
octagon. Or just not show up, because I'm thinking Sean O'Malley put him away in round 2.
Another thing about the Sean O'Malley and the Cheeto Vera thing. Tell me, you can go through Marlon Vera's joint right now. Outside of an aging Freddie Edgar.
Oh, this is disrespectful. This is disrespectful.
Outside, listen, I love Frankie, but Frankie, his style is like AI style. It's based on quickness. Yeah. So outside of that, who has Cheeto really impressed, like beat for real? Like you just go last 4 or 5 years.
We saying that, but Frankie, he can beat a lot of people, man. Like we always sleep on Frankie. It's almost like when he don't get the credit he deserves, man.
But it's like if you look at it like actually Frankie beat Pedro, bro. If Frankie could beat, he won a split decision.
Oh, that was a wild.
Actually, they robbed Pedro. They really robbed Pedro.
Yeah, that was a wild one.
But bro, really, I ain't gonna lie to you. They had this is the crazy thing. He was beating Cheeto before the front kick. That's the crazy thing. Remember Frankie was winning and he got kicked in the face at the end.
I think he's right, David, because dude, like he lost the Pedro fight. He got knocked out by Corey.
They should have never made that.
Knocked out by Marlon.
Who set Frankie up to fight Corey Sandhagen in 2021?
He got TKO about Korean Zombie. I think he's right, David.
Bro, why did they have him? Bro, he got knocked out for the first time by Brian Ortega, and they subsequently made him fight Cub Swanson, Max Holloway, Korean Zombie, Pedro Munoz, Corey Sandhagen, and Marlon Vera. He should have been retired in 2018.
But that's his fault though. Like shit, he won the glory.
Man.
So now he got a story.
Yeah, well, hey. So what you think gonna happen?
Man,
I'm going.
It's tough, man, because like, dang, man, Pedro never been knocked out before, man. So
first time.
I'm gonna say.
That's what I was about to say.
First time for everything.
I'm gonna say Sean versus, but I just got that Cody Garbrandt fight in my head. Bro.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but I ultimately want to see Sean and Adrian Yanez throw them things. I want to see swinging and banging. Dude, there's so many good fights for Sean O'Malley to make going up. I mean, I wouldn't want to see Sean lose his fight at all, just because there's more exciting fights to be made with Sean than Pedro. If I'm just being real.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm going with Sean here.
I'll finish.
I mean, look, about something. I mean, whatever he want to do. What you mean? So what you going with?
Nah, we ain't gonna let you slide like that. What's the finish? I need to know the finish.
I'm gonna say. I think he might be able to put him away. The only thing, I think Pedro can survive for 3 rounds. I think Pedro's tough enough to where he'll get outclassed and outpointed for 3 rounds. I'm going to say 30-27.
And I think Sean is kind of risky to kind of just make it too much of a firefight, man.
Yeah.
I think just go out there and do damage, win in dominant fashion, but not get too aggressive, man. Just fight safe, man.
Because Pedro will knock your ass out if you
exactly.
He ain't no bullshit. I fuck with. But I'm going Sean O'Malley 2nd round. Knockout.
Okay. 2nd round. Dang, he said I'm get him out of there. So now we got 3 more fights. Now this is an interesting fight. We got number 1 contender for the middleweight strap. We got Sean Strickland.
They say
having the worst manager of all time and agreeing to fight
Alex Pereira. They say that, dude, but I think if Sean Strickland win, he's not getting a title shot.
Sean Strickland ain't getting no damn title shot, bro. This was this was their excuse to make that Alex and Israel fight. That's all this is. This is a title fight. This is number 1 contender fight for one of these people, and that's for Alex. Now, have you seen a lot of Alex work, Colby?
Yes.
Bro. Have you cried for the people holding the punching bags and
he looked like he hit him like he got something personal going on with the stuffing in the side. Like I'll be like, bro, what you really on, bro? Like I don't know. Sean Strickland has become the most annoying fighter to me as of recent. Like on Twitter, like I was following him. I used to like that talking trash. No more. I'm good. I've switched to I want to see him getting pieced up now. So.
Yeah, it's like a lot of overboard on stuff. Like it's going it's going crazy. It's like, okay, bro, relax. We get it. Like we know you know what I'm saying, but relax. Like so, but I mean, he on a win streak right now. Nordin Talib, Jack Marshman, Brendan Allen, Jotko, Uriah Hall, Jack Hermanson. Obviously, only 2 of them are worth mentioning if we're talking about danger as far as being on the level of Alex, and that's Jack when he's doing good, and that's Uriah Hall.
And Brandon Allen.
It depends on which version shows up. But, he kind of did what he wanted to do against Uriah Hall. Look, my thing is that his fighting style with that little half Philly shell thing he does when he throw the jab out there, bro, I'm sorry, but I just don't see Alex falling for that. And Sean ain't good enough of a wrestler to hold this man down and submit him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He
and
about
all
to
that,
get
and all that, like putting your hands down, going in the Philly shell, man. Alex gonna be doing leg kicks, body kicks, head kicks.
Yeah.
So it's like it's gonna be
Alex
like
about to piece his ass up, top
It's
to
gonna be
bottom.
crazy.
I think it's gonna be closer than what people think.
I think it's gonna be closer, but I think it's gonna be brutal. I think it's gonna be a good back and forth fight, but I think Sean gonna get dropped. I think Sean. The only thing is, I don't think Alex want to be on the ground once he drop him because
that's a fact.
Even as a striker, if it ain't a clean KO, you can't just follow people to the. We done seen too many people drop people and go to the ground. And before you know it, you getting rear naked choked because you ain't got no jiu-jitsu. You just drop. You know what I'm saying? You drop somebody and went to the ground with them. Yeah. I can see Sean taking a absolute beating, but he gonna be firing back and making it exciting. But he gonna be on the receiving end of majority of the damage. Like I basically see that happening.
What you just said though is the same thing that we was worried about with Izzy and Izzy the champ. We was all worried about what's gonna happen if he get on the floor, and he ain't made it there. So
that's true.
Not where he was like in any dangerous situations. And dude hands is just as dangerous as Izzy's, in my opinion. I think Izzy might have him on strength a little bit, but realistically, man, I don't like this for Sean Strickland at all. I don't think he's going.
Who hands you talking about?
Alex. Because
yeah,
I just don't see. I mean, the way that Sean fights is pressure fighting, and it's a lot of he uses his cardio as a weapon, and he get people exhausted, and he make them throw punches that it ain't smart punches, right? Like they just throwing something just because he hitting them, and he make them miss a lot of punches. But the thing is, Alex is gonna dissect him. It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be devastating. I don't necessarily know if he's gonna put Sean away because at this point, I don't think you just gonna knock out Sean Strickland like that. Look, if he go out there and knock out Sean Strickland with a one punch or a head kick, you best believe it's gonna be a title fight. You best believe.
But even if he go out there and lose a decision, he's still getting a title shot.
He might still. If it's
but we can't act like Bruno Silva didn't like he was kind of catching.
But we can't act like Bruno Silva wasn't on a 25 win streak either, finishing everybody too. So Bruno Silva is a very dangerous person. Like, let's not pretend like he ain't dangerous in his own right. Yeah. And to be honest, I think Bruno Silva beat Sean Strickland.
No.
Yeah,
it's different levels.
I might have jumped the gun on that one. But look,
let's do it.
I might have jumped the gun on that one.
Let's edit that out.
But look, ultimately, what you think gonna happen?
Man, it's tough, bro. This is really tough, man. Like, it's gonna be close, man. This might go 3 rounds, man.
It's gonna go 3 rounds.
And you gotta understand it because Jack Hermanson was landing leg kicks on Sean Strickland. Bro, so you don't think Alex not gonna see that, bro?
Jack Hermanson is stiff as a skateboard.
As a surfboard.
He got all the tools, but he just ain't loose at all.
He need WD-40, bro. Jack Hermanson is like a door. Don't get me wrong. You don't let him grab you, but he is stiff as I don't know what, bro. If Jack Hermanson can make it close striking, I can only imagine what Alex can do, bro. Like, and that's Sean's most recent fight, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I can see Sean frustrating the hell out of him, though, man.
But you got to realize Alex coming from a kickboxing background. Yes. What is Sean gonna do standing up that Alex ain't seen before ever? Dude, Sean might be one of the most least credentialed strikers Alex has ever faced, if you think about it.
Yeah.
The question is Sean gonna turn into a wrestler? That's the question.
And he was able to take down Uriah Hall, man. And is Uriah Hall stronger than Alex?
Hell no.
You don't think so?
Nope.
His takedown defense?
Nope.
I don't know, man.
Alex is a strong.
I think I don't know if strong. And see, it go back to that John Jones thing we was talking about, like about young him versus old him. Like, I think Uriah is just so much time doing it where I don't feel like Alex has the repetition of worried about the takedown. So I don't know if that'll be a big issue. I think it's gonna be Alex, but I think Sean's thing is that talking trash while throwing the punches and getting into the fighter's head. But
Alex don't speak English.
I didn't even know that. He don't speak English?
I don't think he speak English. His name Alex Pereira. I ain't never heard him talk.
But normally
when they can talk, they speak English. But if they speak Portuguese, then they don't really talk. They don't really talk that much.
You seen that? But did you see that Izzy thing where Izzy was speaking English to him and was getting in his head talking trash? And when he put Izzy down, he was all in Izzy face. You know what I'm saying? After he put Izzy out. So
hey, that's a good point you made, bro. So what if like Sean, like what if it backfires? What if he like trash talks like Alex and then like it pisses him off? Well, yeah. Bro, mad Alex. Ooh.
Trash talk don't work when you keep getting punched in the mouth that you talking the trash out of.
Yeah,
if you keep getting punched in there. So now it's like, oh, you like, you bullying, and I hit you with a double jab, and now your lip bleeding. Now I keep talking out of that sore mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to.
But it works. It works when you're winning though. Like if you're like doing
you gotta be in full control for that to be the case. Like, and the thing is, now this is the thing, man. The thing is, I'm finna go look at Alex's kickboxing record, bro. He has been there with some of the most dangerous kickboxers of all time worldwide. He done fought in Glory. Sean Strickland might be one of the worst strikers he's ever been there with, and I'm just being real. He might be one of the worst strikers that Alex has ever faced.
You overthinking it, bro. This is an MMA fight. And Sean is good at mixing everything again, bro. He can mix up everything.
But Sean historically has not been a good wrestler. Sean don't win with wrestling. He's never been a wrestler.
I didn't say he had the best wrestler.
So how you gonna mix it up?
The way he did against Uriah Hall.
So with the striking.
The striking and the takedowns, David.
He's not good enough of a wrestler.
He was damn near picking Uriah Hall up.
So Uriah Hall has a mental issue. He don't pull the trigger, bro. You cannot compare
and he don't engage
to Uriah Hall.
He don't engage. Alex Pereira moved forward.
Yes.
And Uriah will sometimes wait for you to come to him.
And Uriah might go a whole round and not do nothing, bro.
Not a word. And I don't see, Alex got them punches and bunches with kicks and all that other stuff included. I don't know, man.
Flying knee,
bro. And then hey, man, if you don't think, man, I can see a head kick, I can see a flying knee. Hey, Alex getting a title shot Saturday night. I'm calling it right now.
Oh, listen, I will tell you this. He do something like super nasty, and he call out Israel. I think, and man, who else he gonna fight?
It's over.
And we were just talking about this, man. We're gonna talk about it a little bit later. But it's like if Jared can't beat Israel, it's gonna have to be Alex.
It gotta be.
Even if he loses, like, you know what, he's still getting title shot because Sean really don't have a chance.
Sean really, yeah. I mean, and then Sean will get injured, and then like if it's a close fight, Sean will get injured. They'll probably say, "Hey, Sean, we finna give you $100,000. Say you hurt your knee, and we're gonna get a fight to Alex." Bro, Alex getting the title shot Saturday night. I'm calling.
But the last thing I say is Sean been proving everybody wrong, though, man. Like everybody, nobody thought he would make it this far.
True. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's impressive, but yeah, I mean, Saturday night, bro, number one contender gonna be Alex Pereira. I'm sorry. Now we get into the fight that you was ready for. We got Volkanovski and Max Holloway. Now, I know you don't like Volkanovski, but bro, I ain't gonna lie. Volkanovski done made me a believer, bro. And I thought he lost that second fight. I still do. I think it should be 1-1, just in all fairness.
Yep.
But bro, Max has taken a lot of damage since then.
I mean, Max has been out on some wild. One thing I like about what Max has been doing, you could definitely tell he's like enjoying not being the champ. That's the one. Max don't talk for real. He don't do interviews. Like I used to watch it, like Ariel. He used to be on Hawaiian Show all the time. He don't do that anymore. Yep. He is really enjoying not being champ. That's a lot of what we don't really understand.
It's a relief.
Because a lot of times he's said it once, but I haven't really heard him say it again. Like he's doing it the right way. He's not bitching. He's not doing any of that crazy stuff.
Yep.
But I think deep down, I think Volk kind of know that Max beat him.
Well, he has to know. He has to know.
Because I feel like it's really Volk keep asking for Max ain't said nothing. I've heard Volk mention Max's name more than Max has ever said anything about the fights. You know what I'm saying? Even when they ask questions, he don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm looking at the significant strikes in the second fight, and Volkanovski landed 137 and Max landed 102.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, which I know it was real close, and I'm glad I'm not a judge, but I don't think it's that big of a robbery, though, as people make it.
But you got to think about it. Somebody stumbled somebody several times, and somebody else didn't. And
but that's the debate, though. Like, it's different. Like, just because somebody gets hurt don't mean it's a 10-8. So you saying it should have been 10-8?
But in a close, no, I didn't say it was 10-8.
No,
you should at least get a man that round.
He did if it was a round. He won the first and the second round. Then he lost the third, fourth, and fifth round.
But bro, those rounds were so close. You can't tell me Max lost all three of them though. You mean to tell me that all three of those
stats? Look at the stats, bro. He outstruck him the third, fourth, and fifth round.
I'm gonna say this. Sometimes significant strikes. If my significant strike, if I hit you with 5 and they solid, they don't affect me. But you hit me with 2, and your 2 got me shaking with a little loose leg. You know what I'm saying? It hit a little different. I mean, that's just honest.
You said it got me with the loose leg. I'm doing the stanky leg.
Yeah, if my joint is giving you the stanky leg with only 1 or 2, it's gonna hit different than your significant. You know what I'm saying? So, be honest with you, if Volk really thought he did what he had to do, he wouldn't be doing this. He the champ. Champs don't. Who go down, who go up 2 and then go, I'm gonna give you a third one
to give you the opportunity. Yeah.
Cause he know it's a lot of fights at featherweight.
He got wobbled, bro. He got wobble, and he knew, like, oh my goodness. And see, I'm gonna tell you one thing, because we were watching that fight. In the moment Max heard him and didn't jump on it, I said Max finna lose the decision.
Yeah.
And see, now this begs the question, because the first fight was close, but Alex did a little bit more. That was more fair. But Alex, in my opinion, he clearly, look, I know Max won the first 2 rounds. But to be fair, Volkanovski didn't win 3 rounds in a row. Like Max, they was close, man, and Max had to have gotten at least one of them. Like, So I'm thinking Max won the second one. The thing is, how does Max game plan for this dude? Because you already lost a straight up fight. And then when you had him hurt, you can't go in crazy because Volkanovski do got knockout power. He will sleep you. He will 100% put you to sleep. And that could very well happen, man. Like that would be sad, but Volkanovski could very well put Max to sleep and end this thing all the way and shut it all the way down. And so he was worried about that. And then you end up losing the decision. So it's like, you can't out wrestle him because Max ain't a wrestler. You ain't been able to win with the striking because apparently they scoring more for Alexander's leg kicks and stuff like that. What do Max do? Like, if you in Max's corner, what's the game plan?
Right. I mean, realistically, one thing I will say about
Max got to get a finish because that's the only thing that evens it up, bro. I'm just like,
Max got to put him away. I don't think he need a finish. I'm gonna be honest with you. Volk turned it on 4 and 5. He is very much so a professional when it comes.
And we've seen that more recently in the other title fights that he gets stronger as the fight go on.
And as the fight goes on, and Max is one of those. Well, I feel like when he fight people like, other people, like when he start killing you 1, 2, and 3, he go, I'm a cruise in 4 and 5. And he kind of pulled off, but Volk is not one of those dudes. I don't think he need to match power for power with Volk, though. I really don't. I feel like that's what he was trying to do. And I think Volk got them. He really is strong. And he can throw hands. He's not like wrestler strong. He can really... Yes. Like he's very precise. Like his punches are very on target, and it was rocking because man, I seen Max's head fly back a couple times. Thanks. So I mean, I feel like Max just got to stay on him. Max got to get back to the kicks too. Like, have you seen Max kick for real in a minute?
We were just talking about that, and another thing, Max don't go really to the body. But the thing is, we was talking, but he can't really do that against Volkanovski because when you throw them kicks, you leaving your hands down for a split second, and when you throw that body punch and all that, you dropping your hands for just enough time. And the thing is, Volkanovski hit harder than people gave him credit for, and Max knows it. So Max is kind of limited to just doing 1, 2 and hooks, and you know what I'm saying, and playing the feints and the in and outs and all that kind of stuff. But he limited on his weapons because Volkanovski also can wrestle him, and Max can't wrestle him back, and that's. But I think that Max got crazy submissions, but look at what we just saw with Alexander fighting Ortega.
But there's still Volkanovski did show vulnerability though.
Oh, he had.
He got out of it. He got out of the submission, but he still showed that maybe.
But so the thing is, Max submission wouldn't be so much of a I'm just jumping on the submission. It would be more of I hurt you, and I'm following you to the ground. And then I'm hunting down a submission. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if Max hurt his opponent, he's more likely to go for the TKO. And if you look at the Jose Aldo the fight, that's a prime example, bro. He hurt him and went for the knockout. He could have went for the submission too, but he chose to like just finish him with strikes.
But Volkanovski is so durable. He's very good at even when he get hurt because he has been dropped a few times. He had been hurt. He had been in some bad positions. He's very good at knowing one thing. As long as I can get on top, basically. You see what I'm saying? If I can get on top, I can nullify all this and get all that out the judges' minds, and I can eliminate all that. And Max got to choose, like, because I think Max can hurt him because Max has hurt him, but he ain't really hurt Max. But Max knows he hit hard. Max can hurt him, but what's gonna be the approach once you hurt him? You're gonna have to go to the body, bro. You're gonna have to pay, you're gonna have to go to the body and make those investments so when the fight goes longer, Volkanovski won't be able to get that stronger. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
he gonna have to kick.
They said he had weak cardio early on, right?
Yeah. Well, Volkanovski take a little while to get started too sometimes.
Yeah. I feel like don't never let him get on his square.
You can't.
I honestly,
he can't make it a striking match. He got to make it like not like a brawl, but he got to get ugly. Max got to make it ugly, bro. Because I think like if you make it like a striking match, I think Volkanovski.
But if you make it ugly, it benefits the person with more power.
I think it benefits Max, though, bro.
But Volkanovski has shown that he can make adjustments to Max in between rounds. Like Max need like 3 game plans, dog. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Because whatever Max do, Volkanovski go to the corner and come back, it do not work the next round. It's like, oh my goodness, what the heck is going on?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like, number one, I don't think Volk really want to go down and wrestle. He does it as like an emergency thing. I think Volk is stronger than him as a puncher, but I don't think Max is no slouch when it comes to the strength. But I think Max is more precise, more fluid, more loose when it comes to striking. So I give him the nod as a better striker, in my opinion. But I feel like if Max do Max can frustrate you. Them little paps like Max, like really, you know what I'm saying? When you're trying to throw a punch and somebody hitting you with a jab on your nose, it is the most frustrating thing ever. And I feel like if he do enough of that, and like you say, he got to make some deposits to that body. He got to. I feel like he can really do what he needs to do. If you see Alex trying to do a takedown in like round 3, I feel like we know, like, all right, he feeling like he ain't.
That's true.
And ain't moving how he wanted to.
That's smart.
I'm looking at Max, like his statistics, man. In the second Volkanovski fight, he only landed 102 strikes, which is weird because when he fought against Yair, he landed 230. Against Calvin Kattar, he landed 445.
They ain't got the power Volkanovski got, bro.
And I'm saying, dude, Volkanovski, he's able to nullify. Like, he's not letting Max land 1-2. He's not letting them barrage, like land a barrage.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Volkanovski don't let him just throw barrages like that. So I think that with his combos, instead of trying to set, like, he got to make investments to the body. Like, his combo got to be kind of like a one, like a jab, and then a body shot. Because you can't, like, a lot of times he can barrage people with 4, 5, 6 punches, but Alex don't let him do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Volkanovski ain't just gonna let him hit him with a bunch of punches. So he gonna have to invest in the body, leg kicks, front kicks. He got to use his legs, man. That's the one thing he got that Alex. What stat you just found?
Dude, he threw 746 against Calvin Kattar Max.
Listen. So, and that's why they always thought that Max didn't have like strong hands. And I used to be like, Max just likes efficiency. A lot of time that Nate Diaz, like, man, I'm gonna tell you something. I've been in a few fights in my day. I was cool until I fought one dude who slapped me in the middle of a fight. And I never had felt anything like that before because it didn't hurt, but it took my pride. Like, I was like, yo, you trying to disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel like a lot of what Nate's built in. But you have to learn, like, that's just nothing. It's just, you got to take your heart out of it and go right to the thing. And that's why I think Max used to just piece people up so much that you just feel overwhelmed. Yes. And I think Volk know who he is, and I think he powered right through that. But Max got to go, and he got to really start chopping that tree up a little bit. That really is the only way he going to get it done. He ain't going to get it done.
Max got the power, bro. Max got the power. Max has put people away. He might not have one punch knocked out
Jose and all of them.
He may not have one punch knocked him out, but Max also got into this groove Jones was talking about the other day, where he stopped putting people away. He was okay with just decisioning people, and that backfired.
Yeah,
you got to put these people away when you get the opportunity, bro. He
should have finished Frankie Edgar, man. Like, should have finished him, man.
That's true. And he fought, I don't know. You know what it was? I think, and we got to give a lot of credit to that Dustin fight, right? Because, man, Dustin is.
I said the same thing, man. Like when he lost to Dustin, bro, he lost all his momentum.
I think he should have never did that.
It was horrible, man.
Bro, that fight didn't even make sense. I hated that they made that fight. That fight never made sense.
I understand the Khabib one, bro, because you got to like a lot to gain from that.
Yeah, because remember he was gonna fight Khabib on short notice and stuff like that, and then because something happened, and then it would end up being Ally Quinn or something. But that fight makes sense because okay, you the champion, you going up, you might can win the lightweight, bro. You fighting Dustin Poirier, a person who's fought at welterweight. Like what do you do? What do you have to gain from this?
And Dustin got middleweight power. Not to interrupt you, he got middleweight power though. That's what a lot of people don't know. Yes. Them hands is heavy.
Yes,
big heavy. Like DC done said that on a lot. Like, and I've heard, man, when he was fighting that Apex, and it was quite everything sounded like pow pow. Like everything was just like a thick shot every time. So.
And it just didn't make sense. And then it also played more into a way to beat Max. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like it gave Volkanovski something else to look at to say, okay, that's how I beat him. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and that's what he used.
Kind of look at it. That's how Dustin beat him too. Now that we bring that up, it's like Dustin kind of just walked forward. They let him, Max kind of started doing better. He started doing better as the fight went on, but it was already over at that point. I mean, you're down 3 rounds. And like
Dustin kind of showed the blueprint just to counter.
Yeah, that's what it was. That power and precision strikes is what got Max. And because if Max start out strong and he start flowing, man, Max get 2 rounds of what he want to do by third. If Volk ain't ready to go down, he feeling something. So,
and the thing is, Volk has shown that he has shown vulnerability to Max. It's just Max has not capitalized on it. Like for whatever reason, Max just think he gonna get the decision. But I think now he knows at this point, I gotta make something happen with it, or at least make it clear that it's a 10-8 round. You know what I'm saying? But what's the final prediction?
I'm Max ride or die. I'm big blessed over here.
Now, is it gonna be a finish or is it gonna be I think he need a finish.
I don't think he needs a finish.
I think a finish outweighs 2 close decisions, bro.
I don't think it matters, man.
I don't think he does. I think he does like when y'all was reading the stats, like the punches and bunches. I feel like if he keeps the output like that and does Max and then makes those deposits to the body, to the legs, and all that other stuff, I think Max can take it. But Volk is a tough out. Tough out.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Max off of just love alone, though. But
I'm going off the love.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got on it is love. You can't pick against a man with 2 wins. You know what I'm saying? That's hard.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna say Volkanovski by decision, man. Easy. I'm not gonna say easy, but I think just like he's gonna have a game plan because it's something like he knows something about Max, bro. Something happened, in my opinion. I think he won the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, but I think he sees something in Max's game, bro. That's kind of like, oh yeah, it's something in there. But
I mean, I like Volkanovski, man. But I don't like to see Max. I mean, I'm glad Max happy and stuff like that. He don't have the belt, but so it's a little less pressure. But at the same time, it's like that fire. You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen that fire in Max. I mean, when he fought Calvin, that was a glorified sparring match, and the thing is, Max kind of pick and choose who he fight hard against now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to see Max back to, that status that he was. I think Volkanovski can take a loss, but I ain't gonna lie, I like Volkanovski, bro.
Yeah.
I can't really choose, man, because I like both of them, man. I really don't. I wish they had got the score right so it could be 1-1, to be honest. But it's hard to pick somebody that already got 2 wins and they didn't really deserve. I'm gonna pick Max just because I feel like he won the second one. That alone is enough for me to be like, yeah, I kind of want Max to kind of take it, to be honest. Because it's only right, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, we got the main event. Now, Israel and Jared. Now this is a question for you, Colby. Does Jared have a legitimate, and look, I know we watch the countdowns and they hype up on the trailers and you got all this power and all this stuff. When you wake up Sunday morning, do you just imagine Jared holding the belt? Yes or no?
Nope.
Damn. said nope.
Nope. Not one.
I mean, it just, we've seen this so many times where the challenger has one way to win if they can land that punch. How many times has it happened? I only saw it happen against Robbie and again from Tyron, but Tyron had wrestling that he had to be worried about. And
Francis and all his fights.
And Francis is a different beast altogether. But in a title fight, how many times do a champion get just knocked out by somebody with a bunch of knockout power and lose their belt? How many times do that happen, bro?
Well, Israel showed some like susceptibility or vulnerability when he fought against Kelvin Gastelum too, man.
Right. But that fight was so long ago, bro. That fight so far removed.
But it's interesting because he was shorter and he was able to like
he a bigger dude.
Yeah, so I mean, what's interesting is Jared, like the way to beat him is to like out grapple him. So like Israel really don't have that style,
and that ain't the way to beat Israel. Like that ain't the way Israel fight, because Jared, a lot of his losses come from Glover or these people who were just bigger than him. They kind of out wrestled him when the striking was too much, and they was able to kind of use that wrestling to squeak by. But Israel ain't got that. So if the striking get nasty, like what happens? But will the striking even get nasty? Because I think, Israel been talking about Forrest Griffin and Anderson Silva, and his version of that is what he did to Paulo Costa. Man, I could just see this. I could see the Paulo Costa part 2 happening right here, bro. Man. I'm be honest. I don't think it happened as early, but I could see Paulo Costa part 2 happening. At least,
It's just Jared. He's going to throw leg kicks, bro. Like he's going to get in the inside. Like he's going to, even if he lose and get caught coming in, he's going to go for it.
Yeah.
So that's what makes him so dangerous, bro. Because he's not going to stay on the outside and wait. He's actually going to go forward and actually go for the knockout.
What do you think gonna happen, Kobe?
I think it's a few factors. Number one, I don't like Derek Brunson, so I'm gonna go back there. I don't like Derek Brunson. I think he's really great. He's like, what's my man that was in the light heavyweight that went over to Bellator and started being a beast?
Corey Anderson.
Yep, he's just a middleweight version of that. And I don't like, like we just said, Kelvin Gastelum is a beast. He's just, let me tell you, Kelvin Gastelum, the only problem is he's not 6'2".
Yeah.
That's really it.
His only problem. He's just...
There would be no Izzy. There would be no Robert. Nope. Kelvin Gastelum is not 6'2". It's over for that's how, and I didn't know he was that good when he did tough, but I was like, yo, dude, hands is heavy. He wrestled good, and he got the heart of a real lion.
He's just lazy. That's the only. He just lazy. He don't be training. He be doing whatever he want to do in camp, and he be showing up to the fights with the talent, but just not the cardio.
So, but that's a good point. What do we know about people who usually are lazy? That's really good. They usually have phenomenal talent. Like they really are really, really good, and he is. Like my only thing is, Jared. He's also 38. In MMA years, man, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
38 with a young 32 and Izzy that liked to move and dance, and he liked to bounce around. Everybody else that's been on that level, I mean, MMA math again, Robert, he got the W over him. We talked about Jack Hermanson, stiff as a board. The old Anderson Silva, you know what I'm saying? So it really don't. I'm just not so people who got just the right hand. Yeah. I'm just not.
He got more than just a right hand, though.
But the going forward and pressure only intimidate dudes who's scared of the pressure. But he is Izzy is a reactive fighter. So you come in swinging, he duck, and he gonna hit you with a quick one. He got that type of speed for real. He likes to do that. He is a counter fighter.
But I feel when fighters put pressure on him, like that's when he's kind of like a little bit like there's opportunities. Like,
I mean, there's an opportunity. There's the opportunity of chance because like even with Marvin Vettori, some of the worst striking ever. But there was times when Izzy was up against the cage and Marvin couldn't touch him. But just the fact that Izzy had his hands down and doing all that showboating and all that old crazy stuff, it just invites the opportunity for misfortune. But I just don't think that you play that game with Jared. I think that he did that on certain people, but because he didn't drop his hands against Paulo, no matter how bad Paulo was fighting, he did not drop his hands against Paulo. He did not drop his hands against Yoel.
He didn't either. Yoel either. And against Jan, he really didn't against Jan either.
He knew who to play that game with, and I just don't think that I don't think that he just does a bunch of crazy drop the hands antics and stuff against Jared. You know, I think the hands are gonna be up because he know Jared coming down from heavyweight. Yeah, this ain't a person you want to play games with when you come to that kind of stuff. And I think that Izzy gonna be going for the finish because one thing about Israel, one knock on his career is that he don't finish people a lot at this level. You know what I'm saying? Like he might embarrass them, but bro, let's be real. We want to see you finish these people. You got the skill, you got the talent. We want to see you do it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them fights shouldn't have went no 5 rounds. If we being real, Marvin Vettori shouldn't have went 5 rounds. I'm gonna be real. Yoel probably shouldn't have went 5 rounds. Now I don't know how he was gonna hurt Yoel. Maybe that one should have went 5 rounds because it's just too much danger there. But a few of these fights shouldn't have went 5 rounds. And Israel knows that, bro. Like you gotta because realistically, Israel still ain't the middleweight GOAT of all time, bro. As crazy as that sound. Yeah. He ain't. Not right now.
Yeah.
He the current king. Don't get me wrong. He is the king. He's the man. But he ain't the middleweight GOAT even right now because Anderson was putting his people away.
Yeah, but Anderson, and I'm going to be honest with you. John is my 1. So Anderson is my 2. It's going to be very hard to get really, yeah. And you're right. He doesn't really put people away. But I'm just telling you right now, I don't see enough in Jared to really to get it done. I really don't. Like everybody got a right hand. You know what I'm saying? I understand he got more than that.
Put it like that, golly. Dang.
But I'm just kind of like, what else scare you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Izzy got the kicks, he got the speed, he got the counter punching, he got the kick. I really like MMA is the reason why it's so fun to me is because I feel like kickboxing is like one of the craziest sports, which is really what I think a lot of people really like. It's a stand-up, no wrestling for real. That's what they really, really like. And he is really good at that, but he's very elusive and stuff like that. So before it get to the ground, you got to come to me. And I don't see Jared like really, like unless he gets him up against a cage or something, or like catches him like when they do like that little spin around and they going around. Like I feel like he catches him like that, then he can like make it very ugly. Like Randy Couture up against the cage, scoop him and do his thing. But
hey, I noticed that when Israel, like when he backs up against the cage and he circles around, he have his hands down.
Very much so. That is true.
But I'm thinking Jared is 5'11" and Israel is 6'4", and it's like
Israel 6'4".
Yeah, he's tall, man. He's long.
Like that's what I keep saying. Like he is a.
Oh my god, I didn't know he was that tall, bro. And I watched him fight live. Oh, you're right. He is tall. Dang.
6'4". 6'4". By the time this fight, he still be 32, but like, you know what I'm saying? 6'4" with a lot of energy. Come on, man. Ain't no dudes out here doing dance routines before they go into a fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I do like Jared.
Yeah.
I don't see it though.
We all like Jared, man, and we all glad he got this far because a lot of people don't, man. And Jared been on this mission. You know, a lot of people don't ever get title shots, man. You know what I'm saying? If we being real, it's hard, man, to get on the win streak.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this though: if Jared hurt Israel, it's a wrap.
But
elbows, right hand.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, but that's a big if. Is
it a wrap though? Because who put that fat lip on Izzy? You remember he got hit and his lip started swelling up real bad. Was that Rob Whitaker?
It's probably Kelvin. Nobody else touched him.
He had one where it was just like his lip swole all the way up.
Now Yoel hit him one time in the first round with a left hand, and he never got hit for the rest of that fight.
Okay, somebody put that on him, and I was like, I thought he came back from that like really well. You know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing. Israel got so much heart, bro. People don't really realize how many tough fights he been in. Like the Yoel fight. Yoel hit him with a fight-ending punch to start the fight off, bro. And Israel 50-45 him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know about that. That fight was close, man.
I don't know, man.
But that's my boy Yoel.
Yeah, you defend Yoel, man, no matter what. Dude, he 50-45 him after eating a knockout punch. And then he went to war with Kelvin. Bro, this man has gone to some this man has gone to war, bro. Like, and I'm not talking about absorbing a lot of damage. I mean, in just tough fights where one punch could have. Because Israel don't really just have one punch knockout power, you know what I'm saying? But he fought people with one punch knockout power, and he's managed to like go 5 rounds with these people and make it very clear that he's way better than all of them. And I think Jared is just another one of those people who's gonna fall into that category. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing with Israel, man, because when he fought Yoel, he really didn't throw that many fights. So I'm saying, like, if he fight Jared like that, bro, like.
But I'm gonna tell you another thing. Jared gonna try to be slick. He know he big. He know he got that size and that strength from coming from heavyweight. Jared gonna try to wrestle. I can almost promise you that. If you think Jared ain't gonna be trying to wrestle in this fight, because that's how he lost a bunch of fights. And if you think, man, he know he can't go for no double leg, but he gonna try to get him against the cage, and he gonna try to. I'm telling you,
maybe
he gonna try. So what's the final prediction?
I want Jared to win, but I don't think he's going to, man.
Yeah,
He's not.
It's hard to pick between 2 black people, but
I want them both to win.
Listen, you know it's crazy. That's why I never wanted Francis and Derek Lewis to fight ever. I never wanted that. And I was like, if they ever did fight, I wanted to only be for a title. So even if a black dude lost, a black dude won.
Yeah.
I never, ever wanted them to fight. And then they tried to, like, when they made that, and I was so happy it was the most boring fight ever, but I was like, oh, why would they do that? Like, nobody, I didn't want to see it only because they both was like, yo, he can throw, I could throw, it could be whatever. So.
And they good for that in the UFC. They'll take 2 good black people too and say, nope. Right at the beginning, we got 2 really good people. Nope. We finna make you fight right now. That somebody
at 4 and 6,
bro. Are you freaking serious? Why they can't fight in a title fight or a number 1 contender? That way, if you lose, you 1 or 2 fights away from getting back in it. Like y'all, man, they'll trip you up in the beginning, boy. They'll not play.
So who y'all think gonna win, man?
Man, I'm going with Israel, man. Like if I had to bet my house, if I had to bet money, bro, like I'm going with Israel, man. I don't necessarily know if it's gonna be a finish, but I just think it's gonna be one of those John Jones performances where the John Jones and Thiago Santos. I think that's what's gonna happen here.
That's a good comparison.
So I'm gonna tell you like this. If we go back, one of my favorite Jared fights is, well, not favorite. It was favorite for another reason, because I like how Anderson looked in that fight. If you go back to that fight, Anderson had him on the back up almost majority fight till he kicked his leg.
Oh, dang.
And I'm talking about Anderson was throwing all that,
Right.
and he just kicked him, and then he went down like that. If Izzy comes out aggressive like that, I personally believe it'll be a wash if he comes out like how Anderson did in their fight. He really kind of got lucky. I don't really believe in Jared like that. If I'm betting money, I'm betting the easy money on Izzy. Probably 3rd. I'm serious. Like, I don't, and I like Jared. Like, I know it probably sounds like I don't, but I really do. You know what I'm saying? Because I like Jared back when he was puffy Jared.
Yes.
Like people don't realize, like, bald-headed, like,
yeah, he
was swole up. Before all the muscles and all that, he was like just a puffy dude. He didn't have that build for real. And then he grew the fro out, got the muscles out, and he became a beast. But he was slowed in. He's still kind of slow now. Speed always kill that power. Always.
I didn't think about that.
Always. He just don't got the speed to keep up. If Izzy let them hands go, them kickboxing hands go.
You're right. You know, he is right. He got a slow one too. Now, if it land, it can knock out a werewolf. But the thing is,
so it's gonna be like Carlos versus Tafon.
Yeah, what happened last night, bro? The thing is, another thing is, Jared is like he's better than a lot of knockout artists because he's very calculated. But sometimes he could be a little bit too calculated where he sits there and he won't do nothing, and then he might throw a leg kick, but he'll sit there and he won't necessarily do nothing for a little bit too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Anderson, a 40-year-old man, was hitting him with 1-2s and 1-2s and 1-2s. Go look at the fight again.
Man, when you bring it up like that, man.
It literally was a man who is an older man, because old Anderson would have ate his ass up. Old Anderson, before that Weidman fight, would have tore Jared ass up.
He would have tore his girl ass up too, shit.
Yeah, I mean, old Anderson was something different, though. You know what I'm saying? But I think Israel at 6'4" is a little different than all the other people he's fought. I think size and height, like, means something. Like, even when John fought, like, Big Gus and Reyes and Thiago, like, they was big boys, like, height-wise. And John really ain't never really do great against guys that was kind of like on his height level.
Dang.
Until like he really focused on Gus, but Gus after the wars. But let's back to this one. I truthfully believe I think Jared's gonna take the L. 3rd round, knockout. Izzy. I'm going that route. I do. I don't, and I hope Izzy don't take him lightly.
Yes.
And because one thing about people who fight for the belt, Jared 38.
Yep.
He not gonna get another one.
And he knows it.
And that's what I was saying, because Israel was talking about Alex and stuff, bro. Is he focused on Alex or is he focused on Jared?
Yeah, you're right about that. Now.
Yeah, it's true. But 38 is very rare. Like John had to leave for us to get Glover as champ.
Bro. And look, Glover, I'm glad he won it and everything like that. But make no mistake about it. That's only because of a lot of stuff that was out of his control. Like John and the drugs and the this and the crazy stuff, and the guy to relinquish the belt and all the heavyweight. Like, it was a whole bunch of stuff, bro. If it wasn't for that, he'd have never seen it. He'd have never touched it.
Yeah. And I like Glover. I really do. Glover got one of my favorite, like his uppercuts is so nasty and that clinch is just scary. But I got to go with Izzy on this one. 3rd round, middle of the round. I'm going middle of the round.
Damn.
Like
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
2 minutes and 30 seconds. I see
it 3rd round. Like, I'm telling you, I feel like if Izzy come out not on no timid shit, like no respect in that 1st round, because I feel like that's always like, I feel like Jared's gonna be he gonna come with it off rip to show the champ that he there. I feel like Izzy knock all that out. He get to work in the 2nd round. 3rd round, I feel like he could put him out.
And Jared gonna get to sweating, overthinking, and it's gonna be lightning quick. Because I can see Jared standing there thinking and ain't doing nothing, and that's gonna be it.
Big pressure with a crowd there. I feel like so many dudes could have won the belt.
Remember, Derek Brunson dropped Jared now.
I'm telling you. And who hands you gonna mess with? You gonna mess with Derek? If you had to choose Derek hands or Izzy hands?
I'm choosing Derek all day. So Derek,
hold on, left hand from Derek.
Hey, what? You choosing Izzy hands? I mean, Derek hands over Izzy hands?
You talking about to eat the punch or to?
No. I'm talking about just throwing them. Like, who striking is you choosing?
Well, Israel got the faster punch, but Derek got knockout power.
But what I just tell you, speed don't mean nothing. You could be strong as hell. If it take you 20 minutes to get to my face and I done hit you with one already, we already done seen how that works.
If he got hit with a slow Derek Brunson punch, then
But he was looking like for takedowns too. It wasn't just like a striking match.
That's true. But he still got put down though. Like that did happen. So, and I'm gonna say another thing. Israel in this fight, he got to show another wrinkle in his game too, bro. Like,
that's a fact.
Israel is good at what he do, but another thing that's gonna hurt Israel is that because Anderson had submissions, he had knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Israel, you getting all decisions, bro, with like a sprinkle of a TKO here and there. And then the one you had, Paulo literally didn't do nothing. It was mostly what Paulo didn't do that led to the knockout, if anything. Yeah. So I think, if anything, I think he drops Jared. I think he rear naked choke him, man. If I'm gonna be honest with you,
I wouldn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't. If I was him, I wouldn't do that. I would. If I had the chance, I wouldn't. If he got him like wobble, I would try to finish him with hands. Because if Alex wins that fight against Sean Strickland, that's where I feel like you show another.
You're right. That's smart. You 100% right.
Because any dude that knocked me out, I ain't trying to go back to where we was like evenly yoked.
I'm turning to Damian Maya on you, boy. That's very smart. You're right.
So
hey, I can see Jared getting into these later rounds but he went 5 rounds before, didn't he?
He can't. He does. He looked like a sweaty mess, but he be still going. He still bang at 4 and 5. So,
but Kevin's so small, like as far as height wise, this is gonna be different, bro. This is gonna be like way different. Man, I'm going Izzy 4th round, something like, you know what I'm saying. I just think
you just gonna finish 4th round,
and hopefully Izzy can get it done.
I'm going with Jared highlight real knockout.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just playing.
I'm finna say it, man. I wouldn't.
I'm going with Izzy or safe.
You wouldn't bet your bank account on that. I ain't no way.